Welcome to this explainer. Picture this, it's late. The house is completely dead quiet, and literally the only light in the room is that cold blue glow of your phone reflecting off your face. You're exhausted, you're just mindlessly scrolling. And then, you buy it. Why does that late-night purchase feel so incredibly good for just a fraction of a second, but then feel so overwhelmingly wrong the next morning? Look, if you've ever found yourself staring at a screen, just watching your hard-earned cash vanish into this blur of push notifications and digital receipts, you're going to want to pay close attention. Today we're unpacking the absolute darkest psychological mechanics of spending. We're talking about the intense, hidden wars being waged inside your own brain right now. Because honestly, this isn't about budgeting. This is about manipulation, psychology, and the terrifying reality of how our minds are literally being hijacked.
I mean, how many times have you told yourself, okay, that is it. No more impulse buys. I am strictly sticking to the budget. You swore it was the last time. You looked at your bank account earlier that day and promised you were done, but then you do it again. It's that smooth checkout screen, that little haptic buzz of your phone, and that electric rush you get the exact millisecond your thumb taps buy now. It feels good, right? Like, really good. Your heart rate actually spikes. But why? Why do we completely sabotage our own financial rules knowing, for a fact, how stressed out we're going to be tomorrow?
Well, it starts to make sense when we look at Section 1, buying relief, not products.
See, we absolutely love feeding ourselves these rational little stories, don't we? We're like, oh, I definitely need this smartwatch for productivity, or this expensive kitchen gadget is finally going to make me cook at home. But underneath all that logical dressing, there's a much darker, much stronger drive. Every single time money leaves your account, your brain basically throws a party. It floods your system with these feel-good chemicals, proving you're not actually hunting for physical items at all. The shoes, the gadgets, the subscriptions, they're just the delivery mechanism. What your brain is desperately craving right then is a dopamine hit. So it's never really about the product. It's entirely about the feeling that product temporarily gives you.
And this is where the trap gets super real. Think about it. You've had just a brutal, soul-crushing day at work. You walk in the door, don't even take your shoes off, and just collapse on the couch. You're dealing with a bad day, or maybe you're just incredibly bored, or you're suffocating under financial stress. When you hit those emotional lows, your phone is sitting right there in your pocket, and suddenly, spending completely morphs. It's no longer a financial choice, it's a digital anesthetic. You aren't buying things anymore, you're actively buying immediate relief from your own reality. You're basically paying just to numb the exhaustion.
So, every time you open a shopping app in that headspace, this intense tug-of-war kicks off in your brain. On one shoulder, you've got your logical mind whispering, hey, we need to save. Rent is due next week. We want to actually buy a house someday, remember? But on the other shoulder, this massive emotional drive is absolutely screaming, I need relief from this terrible day, and I need it right now. And in the heat of the moment, surrounded by a frictionless, beautifully designed app, logic doesn't stand a chance. It gets completely steamrolled by sheer emotional desire.
Which brings us to Section 2, how the system manipulates. Because here is the chilling truth. You are not fighting this battle alone. If it was just you against your own brain, sure, that'd be hard enough. But there is a highly optimized 24/7 machine actively working against you. Built by some of the smartest engineers on the planet, designed specifically to track your habits and exploit the exact emotional conflict we just talked about. The system knows when you're up late. It knows you're vulnerable. So it weaponizes things like flash sales and limited time offers. You know the ones. Bold, aggressive red text screaming, only 2 left in stock, or a literal countdown timer. These aren't just innocent marketing quirks. They are precision-engineered psychological traps meant to bypass your logical brain entirely. They create this artificial panic. They force you to act immediately, because if you stop to think, you might actually pause. And if you pause, you save money. They want you to feel, and they want you to react.
And that leads right into Section 3, the spiral of regret. See, the damage from these emotional traps rarely happens all at once. It's more of a slow bleed that suddenly goes into overdrive, pulling you down into this spiral that feels impossible to escape. Usually it starts super small. $10. You just toss some random, cheap thing into your cart to hit the threshold for free shipping. It feels like nothing, right? Your logical brain doesn't even view it as a threat. Honestly, it just feels like you're outsmarting the system to save on delivery fees. It's completely, easily justifiable.
But then, things accelerate. The friction is totally gone. Your credit card is already saved on file, right? You don't even have to stand up off the couch to grab your wallet. Face ID scans your face. Apple Pay does its frictionless magic, and boom, another $20 gone. Just a quick double tap on the side button, it's another microtransaction effortlessly written off because you're already in that highly activated buying zone. The dopamine is flowing, the stress of the day is melting away, and honestly, the numbers on the screen don't even feel like real money anymore.
Before you even realized what's happening, $50, $100, $200, it piles up so incredibly fast. Ping, order confirmed. Ping, receipt sent. The cash just rapidly drains out of your account. What felt like a harmless little splurge 2 minutes ago has completely snowballed. You've blown your weekly budget in 4 minutes flat. The trap snapped shut. The system extracted exactly what it wanted, perfectly monetizing your fleeting emotional vulnerability.
And then, the crash. The inevitable, sickening dopamine crash. The temporary high just evaporates. Your phone screen goes black. The room gets quiet again. You open your banking app, look at your depleted balance, and that heavy, physical sinking feeling drops right into your stomach. A massive wave of post-purchase regret washes over you. Because your logical brain, which was basically locked in a closet during this entire spree, kicks the door down to assess the damage. You're sitting there in the dark, in this painfully relatable moment of clarity, asking yourself the ultimate, agonizing question. Why on earth did I just buy this?
This brings us to our final realization. Section 4, the illusion of control.
For our entire lives, we're fed this idea that if we just had a stricter budget, a better tracking spreadsheet, or made a little more money, this whole cycle would stop. We convince ourselves we just need to manage the numbers better. But guys, this was never actually a money problem. It has always been a profound, deeply rooted issue of autonomy. It is a control problem. The shrinking bank account, that's just a symptom. Your hijacked attention, your unregulated stress, and your exploited emotions, that is the actual disease.
If you can't control your mind, you will never control your money. Just let the absolute weight of that truth sink in for a second. As long as your bad days, your stress, and your boredom dictate your financial actions, this system is going to win. Every single time. It is a machine perfectly calibrated to bleed your finances dry through calculated psychological manipulation. If you do not master your own internal emotional state, your external bank account will forever be at the complete mercy of the next targeted ad, the next flash sale, the next perfectly timed notification.
And honestly, the scariest, most eye-opening part of this entire realization, you were never really in control to begin with. From the absolute second you opened that app looking for comfort instead of something you actually needed, your free will was already co-opted by a system designed to profit off your pain. The illusion of choice was exactly that, just an illusion. So the real question is, now that you can actually see the strings pulling you, what are you going to do the very next time you have a bad day? Thanks for watching this explainer.